What is up, everyone? Sir Dr. K here, and we're back in Minecraft. It has really been a long time. What has it been, like a year and a half since the last Minecraft video I've done? But this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a long time. You see, in the server world that me and my brothers had for a while, I wanted to have a big piston door, and you can see it in the base tour that I did. I wanted to have a big piston door with a locking mechanism, and oddly enough, it's something that I can't find anywhere, but, you know, I did a little tinkering around and figured out how to lock a T flip-flop. It's really easy, but I'll go ahead and show you anyway. So, first off, right here we have a T flip-flop. This is a very simple design that is also really common, I guess. How you build it, I'll show you real quick. You have your input block right here, then you have redstone dust, upward facing sticky piston, there we go, with a solid block on its face, and then a repeater set to 1 tick on the end. Now this, on its own, is a monostable circuit, so what this does is it just outputs a 1 tick redstone pulse, which is the shortest pulse you can possibly have. If you set the repeater to 2 ticks, then it'll, oh, you can't see it very well, hang on. Then it should create a slightly longer pulse. Yeah, that was definitely longer. And so what you can do, an interesting property of sticky pistons, if you put one on its face, just one, and then a solid block, then a solid block, and a redstone torch, then there you have your T flip-flop, because if a sticky piston gets a 1 tick pulse, it will push a block or pull a block, but not both. So the first time it's hit, then it pushes the block, then it retracts the block, then it pushes the block, and retracts the block. And over here we can see what happens when we take the output from this space right here, where this block will be, and then it's going up to that lamp right there. If we hit it, lamp turns on after a while because of the torches and repeater and all that, and then it turns off. In fact, let's actually go ahead and take out this repeater here. So what you can do, and why I used this redstone T flip-flop design, is because it's pistons pushing around blocks, and you have this block that determines the state of the T flip-flop as a whole. If it's right here, then it's activated. If it's there, then it's deactivated. On, off, right? Pretty simple. So what you can do is you can use another piston to manipulate where this block is. So, quite simply, if we put a, we just need a regular piston and put it on its face, and then we activate the piston, then that will lock this whole T flip-flop in an off position, because once the piston is extended, another piston can't push it. It doesn't do anything, and it won't change state at all. Then we release this, and then it'll, of course, continue to function normally. So, then what you want to do, if you want it to be locked in an off, or in an on position, it's a bit more complicated. What you have to do is you get a slime block. There we go. Oh boy. And then you just, no, wait, what am I doing? No, that's wrong. It needs to be in the same position as the other one, with a slime block on its face, and then a lever right there. Now, what this will do is it will turn the T flip-flop on, and it will lock it in this position, right? You hit that button, it doesn't do anything, and then once you flip the lever again, it will deactivate. Now, you noticed that this piston retracted and detracted and retracted, or whatever, I don't know. That wording is weird. What you have to do to prevent that is just put a piston, and I'm pretty sure you can just have it set to 1 tick on there. Okay, no, you have to have it set to 2 ticks. and then that repeater will stay activated long enough for it to then be reactivated once the blocks are finished moving. So that's what you do if you want that. And this is handy because if you, say, wanted to take this T flip-flop output and go into a door, then you can customize your locking mechanism to whether the door is open when it has a signal, or if it's open when it doesn't have a signal, because different door designs will operate differently. The one that I used in my base, if I recall correctly, is you have to power it to open it, and so I have it set to where it's, or no, maybe it's the other way. I can't remember. Anyway, that's not important. The important thing is, that you can do all that stuff. One more thing that you can do is if you take a regular piston, and I don't honestly see that much use for this, but it's still possible. I'll go ahead and mention it. If you have, oh wait, this needs to be a sticky piston, a side-facing sticky piston, then you can lock the T flip-flop in whatever the current state is. So in this case, it's off, so now it's locked in off. And if we flip it and then activate the T flip-flop, and then we activate that, then the T flip-flop is locked on. So yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Not too crazy. Incredibly simple, so simple that I wonder if it's just kind of an unspoken thing that everyone in the Redstone community knows, but I don't know, I figured I'd go ahead and make a video on it anyway. Now, one more thing that you can do along a similar line, or along similar lines, what you can do is you can, and this is something that I also did in my survival world, you can have a side-firing regular piston, just, like we had for the locking it off, and you can hook that up to a pulse extender through a redstone torch here on the output that will serve as a timeout for your T flip-flop. So if your T flip-flop is on for however long the pulse extender lasts, then it'll automatically shut it off, which is handy for having a door. If a zombie, for example, walks up and steps on a pressure plate, then it will automatically close after a certain amount of time. And you can also, of course, do this same sort of thing. If you want the default state to be on, then you can basically do the same thing with the sticky piston and the slime block. And let's take a look at this principle in action. And to do that, we're going to go ahead and switch into spectator mode. I actually probably should have done that before recording, but whatever. So, of course, if you remember the survival base tour, we have these levers right here, and right below the lever, or however you want to say it, we've got a line of redstone, and this goes through here till it hits the redstone torch thing just to refresh the signal, and this actually goes over to the indicator system just to indicate the lock status. But that's boring. What's exciting is the actual lock, which over here just goes into this piston, which if we come around here, we can see that we have our T flip-flop, and this is the input from the pressure plates, which also goes around to the other side so that we have the input from the outside pressure plates. Blah, blah. I know how to speak. Anyway, so yeah, basically if the lever is on, then this piston is extended, blocking that block from extending, and then thus this redstone never gets powered. But I also have an interesting thing over here. If we head over here, you'll notice that I have an output going into the door, of course, but then it also goes into this little monostable circuit, which goes into a pulse extender, which then goes into another monostable circuit and goes over into the lock piston. So what this does is it's the thing that I mentioned towards the end of the tutorial, where you can basically apply the same principle but using a pulse extender, and that will basically serve as a timeout for the circuit. So it'll automatically turn the T flip-flop off if it's been on for too long. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and just quickly show you what it looks like if the well, actually, wait, mode creative. So I'm going to just show you what it looks like first, the actual opening mechanism. So there it opens, and then it closes. And if we press on it and we wait, it's like a couple minutes of wait time for the timeout. And, you know, I made it fairly long, but then it goes closing it automatically. But if we flick this lever, then those lights are off and all of this is locked. There's no way of getting it open. So there it is, in action. Pretty exciting, isn't it? Hopefully you found this video interesting. If you did, definitely hit that thumbs up button. Leave me a comment down below if you have something to say. Share it with anyone you think would enjoy it. And of course, subscribe if you're new around here. Yeah.